Hello everyone, it's me Deepak, level 6 student of the British College. Today I am here to show you the demonstration of ASE Booz application project. This is my final project for Advanced Software Engineering module. Let's start with the form. At first I have filled my form. Here is my email, surname, first name, student ID, and I am currently enrolled in BSc Honored Computing course. My group is the British College Kathmandu. I'll fill this form honestly, and if I haven't, I will lose marks. I have already read it and I have ticked yes. I understand that I must upload my full code to link to my bucket by the deadline. Yes, I understand this too. I am recording a YouTube demo showing this form on the screen and explaining my code. Yes, I will do this. I understand that if my video is over 15 minutes long, I have to verify my YouTube account. I am aware of this too. I will also put the chapter markers in my video for each question. I understand that if I do not what is asked, I will lose marks. If I do not provide the required screenshot also, I will lose marks. I am fully aware of this. I have already read the instruction in hand before filling up this form. I have already checked that latest version of Booz DLL. You can see over here too. Here you can see this is my 2.0.1. This is the latest version of Booz DLL. Now let's jump into our version control. This is my GitHub username. You can see it over here. This is my GitHub username, Deepak4532. And I have also pasted my GitHub link over here. This is my GitHub link. I have copied exactly this and pasted over here. And I will submit the YouTube link after I am done with this demonstration. This is my documentation link which I have hosted by using GitHub pages. I have given the link of this too. Total number of commits by part 2 is 44. You can see it over here. Yes, I have done 20 documented commits since part 1 in hand. Yes, I have done it too. You can see over here I have done the documented commits too. Yeah, I have updated my readme file with details too. You can see it over here, Deepak, group C, everything. Yes, I have used Booz interface where appropriate. I'll now explain this. I'll show you my code too. Let's jump into my code. Now let's first go into my app canvas.cs. Here you can see I have implemented iCanvas interface, which is used to display the canvas and draw anything on the canvas, which I have implemented it over here. I have also implemented iParser for my parsing, syntax transformer.parser. Over here I have used iParser interface too. And I have also declared my own interface. You can see it over here. I have declared my app parser. I have described a method over here, parse program, and I have used it in syntax transformer parser. Here you can see void parse program, which I have used it over here. Now let's jump into my unit testing. Yes, I have done the unit testing for all my classes. Here you can see over here I have done unit testing for all the methods, all the classes. Yeah, I have made separate file for each classes. Here you can see pentest.cs, variable test.cs, test integers.cs, everything is over in test file. Yes, I have also done my XML comments in unit testing. You can see over here I have done this XML comments too where it is necessary. Now let's run my unit testing. So to see if my unit test pass or fails, let's jump into that. I'll run my all tests. It is building. Here you can see that there are 17 tests in my tests. They all have passed successfully. You have seen it here. Now let's jump into our design patterns. You can see it over here. factory design pattern used for command generation. Show it in your code and how it works. Okay, let's jump into that. This is my app command factory, where I have extended command factory. Here you can see that command factory implements iCommand factory interface, and I have used it. And in here I have made different classes for different command, and I have added switch case for them. Here you can see that it's command factory for that. And I have also used singleton design pattern too, and I will show you how it works. In app variable.cs, here you can see I have implemented the singleton instance for every variable stored. In app variable I have done singleton design pattern. In additional design pattern, I have made a syntax parser transformer, where I have wrapped the parser to run my program. I have used decorator or wrapper, you can say, for that, to achieve that. So in additional design patterns, I have added decorators, you can see. Decorators or wrappers. Now let's jump into our implementation details. Before moving on to the yes, I have already shown you that I have latest DLL file 2.0.1. Now let's jump into our variables. I have replaced my variable class and overridden it. Now let's go to our code and show you that. At first, let's go into app int. In app int, here you can see I have extended command, and this command extends iCommand interface from Booz. I have used it. And at first, in app int, it checks for parameters and everything. At first it checks for parameters, and I execute it using app variable store, where the variables are stored, where I have used singleton design pattern, as I have said already. Now let's run this app integer. Let's run this. Here you can see I have run my unrestricted int program. It has ran successfully. Yes, I have run this. And for image, you can, in my repo example program, over here you can see unrestricted int. I'll copy this link and paste it over here. And let's look for our real class. For real class 2, I have done the same. App real.cs. Here you can see. At first, I have extended the command which implements the iCommand interface. And in here, I have at first checked for parameters, everything, and I have executed it using app variable stores. You can see it over here. It is similar to app int. Now let's run the real class program, unrestricted real program. It has also run successfully, as you can see over here. And in my Booz assignment, you can see the unrestricted real.png over here. I'll copy this link and I will paste it in my form as you asked. Command P. Now let's jump into our array class. Let's go into our array code. Here you can see app array.cs over here. Here, similar to our app real and app int, I have extended a command and I have checked for parameters, and I have used app variable to execute it over here. You can see it over here. Now let's run the array class program. Okay, here I have not defined as logs, so that error has been given to me. If I add as, then it will run successfully. As you can see that it has run successfully, and the image of array is over here, unrestricted array. You can see it over here. Now I'll copy this link too, and I'll paste it in the form. Now let's jump into our if, while, and for. At first, for if, let's check our code. This is our code for if class. Here you can see that I have extended the command which implement the iCommand interface, and here is my skip stack defined and should skip block for else block to be executed successfully. And here you can see check parameters, and below it here is my execution, and below it I have also written a function to evaluate condition for if else condition. Now let's run our if code, and now let's go into our if, unrestricted if. I'll copy this, and I'll run this over here. Here you can see my if code has run successfully. You can see it over here. Yes, and I have also the image in over here, unrestricted if you can see over here, it is over here. I'll copy this link for the image. Now I'll paste it in my form. I pasted it successfully. Now let's go into our while code. For while 2, this is my app while.cs. Here you can see, similar to app if, I have extended command, and I have defined in the index condition and everything. At first it checks for parameters, and after that we execute the program, and below it here evaluation condition is also over here for evaluating conditions. You can see it over here. Now let's run my code for while, unrestricted while Booz. This is my code. I'll copy it and I'll run it. As you can see, the unrestricted while class ran successfully, while code ran successfully. Now let's go back to our form. Yeah, this run successfully. And for the image of unrestricted while, you can see it over here. Here is my unrestricted while png. I will copy this link and I will paste it over here. Now let's go for our for program. app4.cs. Here you can see, here is my app4.cs. Here, similar to other classes, I have extended the command. Here you can see, at first it checks for parameters, and after that it is executed over here. It uses app variable store for it, and for increment and decrement also I have defined it over here. Now let's run my code for app4, unrestricted code for app4. Let's copy this. Here you can see that unrestricted for also ran successfully. Now let's go back to our form. Our unrestricted for also run successfully. Now let's check its image. Here is the image for unrestricted for. Here you can see it. Now I'll copy this link and I will paste it over here. Now let's jump into my else. Let's look at the code first. Here you can see my app else.cs. Here you can see it. It at first checks for parameters and run it. Now run our else block too. Unrestricted if. So over here. In order to run the else block, we need to change the value over here. If I change it to 100, then it will run the else block. You can see it over here. It is also running successfully. And for the image, else block image, here is the unrestricted else image. You can see it over here. I'll copy this link and I will paste it in the form. Yes. Now let's jump into our methods. I have also replaced the method class. Now let's look at the method code. In our method, you can see here is my app method.cs. You can see it over here. It is similar to my other command. I extended the command and then I defined something. I have checked for parameters and I have executed it over here. You can see it. Now let's run our methods too. Unrestricted methods. You can see it. I'll copy this block of code. I'll paste it over here. I'll run it. Okay, the error is because I haven't added L. It requires double L. After I add this, look at it. The program runs successfully. Now let's jump back into our form. There is our form. This is also working successfully. Now look at the image. For unrestricted method, you can see the image is over here. I'll copy this link. Now I'll paste it in the form over here. You can see it. Have you done anything additional and substantial? I have used an wrapper for wrapping the parser. You can see it over here. I have used the syntax transformer parser.cs over here, and it is used to parse the program. I have used my own interface as I have already shown you over there. I have used this as my additional, and also I have added this debug box over here, debug window over here. You can see it. Yes, I have done something additional. Used wrapper for parser, iParser interface, and debug window. Facility, explain the facilities and library you have AI used. I have used AI twice, I think. At first, in order to resolve the conflict of Booz library, I have used it, and also for unit testing also I have used it. For debugging and unit testing, I have used AI. I have used none other library, I have used none other standard facilities too. I don't have any other comments. I understand that I must upload this. I have read everything, and that's it. Thank you so much.